aliens, other civilizations, life on other planets. What is all this curiosity about that humanity has had for an enormous long time? Yeah, basically, for a very, very long time. You can even apparently find pictures in caves portraying what seems to be UFOs. And we're talking about pictures from thousands of years ago, when people still lived in caves, and painted on the walls stuff that apparently occurred within their civilizations at the time. So what's so fascinating about all of this is that the idea of aliens isn't really that bizarre if you understand the universe to be multidimensional. And from that we can conclude that aliens also exist among us on different frequencies. You see, one time I found myself standing on the moon, looking upwards from that point of view. Just imagine standing on the moon, looking upwards, and I saw planet Earth in the sky. That's what I saw. Makes no sense, right? Oh, that must be a vivid imagination, must be completely fake. Or is it real? Could it possibly be the case that right now, in this very moment, in our own galaxy, with all the planets that are currently surrounding our planet, Earth, there's all kinds of life forms existing that are just invisible to our current senses operating in three-dimensional space. So these life forms operate on a different frequency. This can very well be the case, because my experience there, standing on the moon and seeing the Earth in the sky, it also meant that I was not alone on the moon. I was not alone there, and there were effects, weather effects on the moon, as we would have them on Earth, but they were different as well. They looked different. Like we had a rain going on. Imagine that, raining on the moon, but it was a reddish color. It was a different kind of rain than we normally have on planet Earth. Again, all these things, these vivid visions, these vivid astral experiences take place on different frequencies, but they can happen in our own galaxy, in our own solar system. Therefore, if you look up to the sky right now, well, maybe it's not nighttime, but if it's nighttime in your place and you look up to the sky, you see those stars, but not just that, you see the moon. Just realize that the moon actually has life on it, but right now, from three-dimensional space, it looks dead. It looks like there's nothing there. Nothing exists there. There's no life there, right? That's what it looks like. Now, if you were to be able to step out of your physical body into a different frequency, then suddenly that same moon can hold enormous life. Civilizations. Completely different. It's a completely different reality. That's the beauty of being a multidimensional being as well. That's what you are. Therefore, the idea of UFOs coming into view and coming out of view, or going out of view, might as well be described as coming into our frequency range of three-dimensional space and then moving out of that frequency range again, making them completely invisible. Now, they don't just go invisible. If you switch frequencies, you also become different in such a degree that you move through the objects of three-dimensional space. See, this is also important to understand. You don't just go invisible. If you pass away, for example, you change frequencies, you don't just go invisible to the people you leave behind here in three-dimensional space. You also operate on a completely different frequency. Therefore, you don't collide with the physical objects you normally collide with in three-dimensional space, because you're no longer operating from that frequency. So life and civilizations on other planets do exist. But for us, right now, they're just invisible from a physical, three-dimensional point of view. Now, does that mean that there's no other alien life forms in three-dimensional What the hell was going on? Sorry, that's just my alien, my alien transformation happening right here. It's like the alien voice wanted to come out there. I have to hide that shit. But what I wanted to say was, is there no alien life from a three-dimensional space as we are existing in right now? Yeah, of course there is. If you really think about it, if you look up to the stars, right, and you see the enormous nature of this universe, you think that we are the only existing beings, physically speaking, with some animals. All of this all condensed on just one tiny little planet called Earth, with a gigantic, enormous, ridiculous, gigantic universe. There's no words to describe how big it is. The measurement is just unreal. You think that there's no other living beings in three-dimensional space out there? Of course there is. However, the question then becomes, have they visited us? Well, according to many ancient legends, they have. You might as well even say they are among us right now. Maybe you don't even recognize they're here. Maybe they are able to just hide from view. How are they doing it? By changing frequencies. See, some advanced civilizations might have already been able to do this. Humanity will eventually go there. I don't know when it will happen, but eventually, I guess. Technology will advance so far that they'll be able to shift frequencies here as well as human beings, and then we will understand that technology. Because if you move through different frequencies, you can also skip all kinds of limitations that we normally have in three-dimensional space. In the fourth dimension, you can move instantly from point to point. You go beyond time and space, as we know it in three-dimensional space. So therefore, you can move around the galaxy instantly, pretty much. There's no need for normal, slow travel. Well, all of this lies into the future of humanity. But the main point of the video is to understand that our current solar system, the planets surrounding us, are full of life. And either you learn to leave your body right now and explore those planets and see for yourself what kind of life is out there. Or again, another wonderful thing to remember is that when you pass away, your consciousness expands, is no longer blocked by the body and brain. You can then explore it freely yourself at that moment in time. All of this is meant to just make you realize that life is one wonderful adventure. It's absolutely incredible. And yet we make it so disturbing and crazy by just being blinded by physicality alone and believing that we're just this body of flesh and blood, living in this giant universe, and we don't understand where the hell we came from, what it's about, where we're going. We're actually not going anywhere. We're just moving between dimensions because we're multidimensional beings. This can be proven if you learn to astral project. If you learn all this stuff called astral projection, lucid dreaming, whatever you want to call it, out-of-body experiences. If you first learn to study it and keep an open mind and then consider, how could I achieve this for myself? Well, all you need to do is have the desire to achieve it. It's no different than having a goal like making some more money or doing something else physically speaking. You've had goals in your life, dreams, where you're like, I really want to achieve that, and then one day you did. You've had many of those goals. Well, realize that astral projection, going beyond the limitation of your body through your multidimensional being, is just another goal you could have. And you approach it in the same way. You don't have to think, oh, this is going to be so difficult, so impossible, so bizarre, so all these limiting beliefs that hold you back. You don't have to do that. Just see it like any other goal. Realize, okay, do you desire this? Yes? Well, then it will happen, sooner or later. You will find a way to make it happen. That's how dreams are realized in general. So if it is your dream to understand your own multidimensional nature and to know that you're part of a wonderful, giant universe that is alive with all kinds of beings on different frequencies, there can be as different as night and day towards what we currently experience. From those different realities, those different frequencies, if you were to walk on planet Earth, you would walk on a different Earth. You see, the higher the frequency, the closer it is to God, to source consciousness, the more divine planet Earth would also suddenly appear. compared to what we're experiencing right now. Suddenly all the wars would be gone. Yet you're on planet Earth, but it's a different frequency. I hope you start to truly desire to know your real self, your real nature, and not the one that you were programmed to believe you were through the school system, which is indoctrination, and then go into the workplace. In school you get taught how to be a good little citizen, to get a job, and then to just fit in and never question anything. And if you do question it, you might feel like you're crazy because hardly anyone questions anything. But you're not crazy. If you just explore your own being, which is infinite, you're not crazy for that. Because it's infinite, that nature, the true nature of who we are, there's also no end to what you could explore there. So it might seem crazy because you're going beyond the confines of society, of human beliefs. You go beyond all these limiting labels and beliefs, and then you find your true nature, the infinite self, the eternal self that you really are, the multi-dimensional eternal being. You know, your physical life is just one experience that you're currently having. And sometimes your consciousness goes beyond it while the body's still alive, which again explains your dreams and visions and astral projection. And then one day the body will stop functioning and you can completely go beyond the limitations of three-dimensional space. It's something to look forward to. It really is. It's absolutely incredible, this journey that we're all on. If only we could remember it, then all conflicts can stop and they cease to be, and we learn to see the unity behind all of creation.